Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to make some of these identity cards or ID cards and passports. I've had some requests to make them. Now I'm just going to show you how I make them with the things I have. If there's some supplies that I can link in the description, I will. Some of the supplies that I use for these I have gotten from thrift stores and places that I don't know if you can obtain, but that doesn't mean that you can't improvise with some of my ideas. So I'm going to go ahead and get started. I guess I can show you a few more of these. I just think they're so fun. And I'll let you know what supplies I am using. And I'll give you a couple demonstrations on something that you can do to prepare your cards. Okay, so I'll just set these here. What I do is I cut any size, I don't measure these. And these are file folders, file folder. And this is just craft brown paper. So I cut them. I'm going to show you what I do to get this vintage look in just a second. After I cut them, I just ink the edges around the corners and ink the edges. So to get that look, these are the ones that I've prepared this morning. What I'm using, which this is just a preference and it's fun. You don't have to use these. I've made some without this, like such as, let me see where my first couple. This one doesn't have it. This one doesn't have it. And I have several others. So it's just, but the ones with it, let's see. It just gives it a nice kind of, I don't know, vintagey, textury look. So if you have these are the Tim Holtz Distress Oxide Sprays. And I don't want to make a mess here, but all I'm doing is just randomly spraying around the papers. I use probably all three, and then it gives it that look. Okay. So once you've cut your papers in any color, any size, I've began to batch make these just because I'm using my stamp, say a passport stamp. Instead of having to find my passport stamp for the next two, I'll just do 3 passports and then move on to an ID card. I found that just makes it more simple. So I'll do 2 ID cards and 2 passports. Maybe I'll do the 2 ID cards first, yeah. All right, so I'm using, if you can see this stamp set, I got it on Temu. I don't know what it's called. I can possibly link it in the description, but it has the passport and all the different words that I use for this. But I also have a whole drawer of stamps and stamped images from stamps that I've gotten at a thrift store. So those ones are like from an old office, like this for official office use. Those are not in the, those aren't stamps that I've been able to order. So you'll see as I go. Do not file, that's from my own personal stamps. All right, so how I start is you'll need glue. You can use Distress ink and stamps. The first thing I do, sorry, one more thing. So the images these are authentic vintage images that I've collected from thrifts and estates. And I simply made copies of them and then cut them out. So I first just apply my image. No, let me rewind. I'm sorry. I first take my cursive stamp or some kind of stamp. Oops. I like to do a little bit of background stamping. So I'll just add a little detail. Doesn't technically show up, you know, it might a little bit, but nothing, it's not the highlight of the card. So I just add a little detail. Now I also have this stamp that's supposed to be, it's grungy, but probably like a note card, and it's perfect. It's got lines on it, so I just add some light lines just to give it some background. You can use any kinds of stamps you have. Lots of stamps can kind of be upcycled to give marks that you don't even realize that they'll make. Oops. So now I add the photos. So I'll just pick out a couple photos. I'll do this guy, and I just glue them on. It doesn't matter where you place it. Sometimes I offset it. Sometimes I put it in the middle. Just kind of play with it. We'll do this lady. I just repeat using these images because they're so perfect for this. So what are we doing? Passports first? I think we should do ID cards. These look more like IDs. I have images that kind of make sense for passports. I don't know why, but all right. So then I go to my stamps and find identity card. I have no rhyme or reason on how I do this. I just do it to what makes sense in the moment. So that didn't show up very dark, but that's okay. Press a little harder. There we go. All right. Hers is very light. I don't know if I can I won't mess with it because probably can't do it again. So let's see. Then I just start playing around with stuff. Oh, I usually do a signature. The next thing I do usually is a signature. I have this little tiny stamp. You probably can't see on camera. It does say signature. So let me see. I'll use my black ink, I guess. So I just put it right here underneath. And I do use a few different Distress Oxide colors to kind of give it some contrast. So I'll do signature. And then I have been adding this one that says date of entry. And I'll just add that somewhere. These don't have to be, perfect. They're just for fun and they're faux. So then I have these, you can't tell, but these are signature stamps. They're so cool. So then I usually do this in blue just so it has some contrast. And they have male and female names, which doesn't really matter, but so there's Harold, I think it says. And there's 2 female names. I have no idea what they say. I think one might be Isabel, but I don't really care. I just put them on because of the look. Let's see if it's... So then we'll put hers here. Okay. His is showing up better probably because I have less spray. Hers has a lot of spray on it. All right, let's see. So these are ID cards. So I like to add a number. So let me look in my, where is it? I've got this bin that has a bunch of pre-stamped stuff. So I'll bring a few things out that I might use. I know you can't see my bin right now, but I've stamped a bunch of these from my office stamps that I've received. Like for office use only is a good one. Do not file. I'll add a couple numbers. I'll stamp numbers and I'll also use like number labels. It says for intelligence use only. I don't know if it'll fit on there, which maybe. All right. I usually add a number. Let's see. Let's see. I'll grab that one. I like that one better. Oops. What did I just drop? Oops, sorry, buddy. I dropped something on my dog underneath me. My glue. I use that. Okay. Oh, it wasn't my glue. What was it? I don't know. So you can apply these extras anywhere you want. You can get creative with it. This is just kind of a method I've been doing. Adding the number right there. Trying to get that to stick. Okay. And then I do use a bunch of stamps of numbers. I'll show you I have a really cool stamp. Okay. So I got this stamp. It's just a circle stamp with some random stuff in it, so I usually put that on there. Just because it adds some detail. Let's see. And then I have, this is from a vintage haul. It's old numbers. Oh, it's so cool. Hi, buddy. Oops. Let's see. I gotta see if it's upside down or not. Yeah, it's upside down. Okay. So then I might add some numbers here. Just wherever. It doesn't matter. I might just add a little in the corner. So then I have, let's see, let me find the stamp. I have this stamp that says, for official. Let me see. So what I do, let me see if I can pull this off, is I use try to use just the official. I just have to see if it's upside down or not. Yeah, okay. So I'll put for official right here. And I know you can hardly see some of this stuff, but it's just for the extra detail. See? And I have one that says sensitive material. That one's awesome too. Okay, let's see here. What else should I add? It's looking pretty good. Identity card. What's that one? I might use another one of these little circle ones. Let's see. Let's see if it's upside down or not. Just add some extra. I mean, that really looks like enough to me, but sometimes I'll come back in and I will re-dip this line stamp and just add a little detail on top of the stamps. The busier the better, I think. Add a little more numbers, maybe a stamp right here. Yeah, so I think that's enough for these. So we'll do some passports. I'll do them lighter so that they show up a little better. Let's see. Oh, that one's pretty dark. This one, that's fine. All right, so I'm trying to think. I'll do it like that so that the darkness doesn't cover my stamping for now. So then I pick out some pictures. Who wants to go on a trip here? She looks like she wants to go on a trip. This one. Okay. Let's see. You could even make like 2 or 3 or 4 or, you know, a row of them. It's just easier to use the same stamp, I think, in a row when you got these teeny tiny stamps to try to find them again. All right, so now we gotta go back to signature. Let's see. Let's find, I need to move this glue. What's Herald? These are definitely not Heralds. Where's my blue ink? Oh, there it is. Make sure I'm in frame here. Perfect. I'll do 2 Isabels, it's just easier. Okay. Let's see. I do add this date of entry. It's so tiny. I mean, in the grand scheme, it doesn't really matter. Because it's probably going to get covered by everything I put on here. All right, so let's do, I think, oh, she does. I don't have room now. I put the signature like that, but I could. I might add that to it because it's a passport. Or, yeah. So sometimes I add these labels. I love these labels. I just stamped a bunch. These stamps are, I love them. What a score to find these at a thrift store. Tons and tons of office stamps. Okay, and then I've got this little stamp that's got an airplane on it. Let's see which way's up. Let's do a Bon Voyage. It's upside down, that's okay. All right, they need numbers. So, oh, and passport. I'm getting ahead of myself. The word passport. Okay. As you can see, I get very inky when I'm doing this. Okay, and then there is another, if I can find it. Where is it? There's another one that says passport in smaller letters. Let me see. Here it is. So sometimes I just add that. Oops, it fell off. Sometimes I add that on the side. Just as a extra. Let's see. This is an immigration one. What do I want to add? Oops. Do some numbers. So just see where I want to do it. I have to add some in the corner. Let me look. Do not file. Nope, I don't want that. For intelligence use only. I could just do for intelligence use. It's not gonna fit. I could do it here instead of the passport stamp. But I think I'm gonna not do that right now. Want some color here. Just trying to decide what stamp I want to do next. Add this number. I think this one I forgot to add my little lines and stuff to it, but that's okay. I can do it now. I can do it whenever. Okay. What else should I add? Let me look in my little box here. It says possible intelligence value. Oops. Trying to find a number that makes sense for that. Too big. Let's see here. This one's not bad. Oops. Do it right there so it doesn't look like a mugshot. All right, let me see what other stamps I want to do. Maybe this one. I haven't used this one yet. It says something about Paris. I try to make them look busy, like they went on lots of vacations or they're immigrating. There's some stamps that say stuff for that. Oh, this one's awesome. This is a scanner. It's like a barcode. I always forget I have this one. Put it right here so that they can be scanned. All right, let me look at my stamps. Oh, those are busy enough, really. So you get my drift on doing these. Lots of fun. Just trying to see if anything else belongs there, but I think they're good. So I'll show you again my other ones, just in case you want to get some ideas. I didn't put a number on her, but that's okay. So we got that one. Oops, that one. The nurse. Another nurse. As you can see, I repeat my images. And these ones are in the file folders. So, well, I hope you guys enjoy making these, and I'm sure there's definitely ways to improvise with different stamps, number stamps, images. I'm sure you can find some on Google or use whatever you have at home. But I hope you enjoy making these passports and ID cards. If you enjoy my channel, please consider subscribing and give this video a like. It really does help me out, and I'll see you next time.